All right, how's it going, y'all? So today I want to go through and discuss a new topic in history that I think is kind of interesting, called the evolution of travel. The evolution of travel is a kind of a broad topic, but we're going to break it down into a couple parts from like prehistory, where people went through and how they traveled in, to more medieval, Middle Ages, early ages, and all the way up into the modern era. Okay, so about 30 different time periods. Okay, prehistory, it's kind of obvious. People back in the day, they used their own 2 feet. They walked on their own feet, going place to place to place. This was a very, how do we say, rudimentary form of travel, limiting people from being able to go many places. Imagine if you're having to walk everywhere, how far can you really go? Can you really go from town to town to town every day, or do you have to go through and live within your means? You can't go from one place to the other place. You've got to stay close to your water source, stay close to your food source, which greatly hinders where you can live at, right? Imagine if you live in the mountains, okay, you can't live on top of that mountain and then walk down to the Piedmont region to go find food. It's a whole different region away. You can't do all that in one day and walk back. It's a long way to walk, just not really feasible. So instead you want to go through and find some place halfway between. That way you can get the resources of the mountains and in the Piedmont region, referring specifically to North Carolina, okay? Furthermore, walking on your own 2 feet was very difficult and caused challenges if you had to do this every single day, going great distances. Eventually, you get tired. You can't go through and be as effective and efficient to supply and take care of a big family, because if you have to go through and carry lots of supplies from one place to the other, or lots of materials to build houses, to do whatever, having to carry a lot is going to be a very lengthy and difficult task. So that was what was mainly used back in the prehistory, or the Paleolithic, Neolithic, and Mesolithic eras. Paleo meaning old, Meso meaning middle, Neo meaning new, Lithic meaning Stone Age. Put it together, Paleolithic, old, Stone Age, right? And so on and so forth. You can do the rest, assemble those words. Talking about how they found better ways to do it. They realized, hey, instead of me going through and having to carry all this, I can put it on an animal. Oh wait, I can not just put the materials on an animal like I was just thinking about. I can go through and sit on the animal's back and they can carry me. That's a lot better than me having to walk from that mountain to the Piedmont region, right? That was a thought process that they also used as well. It was just more efficient and more effective that way. They go through and ride on horses, and eventually they realized, hey, I can have a horse or an animal of similar caliber go through and pull a buggy, so I don't have to sit on its back and have to ride the animal that way from place. I can just ride in the buggy, right, or the cart, okay? So it evolved from that to being able to ride in a cart or a chariot. This was a lot more effective because you can go through and load the cart down with a lot of materials and have the like almost like a beast of burden go through and pull the materials from one place to the other. It was just a smarter option for them, right? However, nowadays we realized, hey, let's go through, instead of having animals pull us from place to place, they evolved to the modern era, having trains do all this work. It was like a really popular thing that came out back in the day. Trains or boats were another very, very popular thing. Instead of having to have your boats propelled by wind or by paddling, you eventually made engines that went through and did the work for you. These trains and these kind of motorized vehicular instruments we can use to help us transport goods, materials, and people from place to place to place, which led to the invention of motorized vehicles like cars and trucks and other kind of vehicles, because instead of having to go through and have a train that's stuck to a specific track, a train rides over parallel tracks, and wherever the tracks go is where the train has to follow as well, unless it changes tracks. These vehicles drive on just solid ground. As long as the ground is able to be driven on, it can go across it. And so it's just a more effective way for them to go through and travel. And You can obviously go places faster in a car than you would be able to walk. I bet you can walk fast, but you're not going to be able to walk faster than the car can drive. That's just very unlikely to happen. In cars, you're able to be more mobile, going different places, seeing different people a lot better. So that's just the evolution of how we went from, walking on our 2 feet every single place, everywhere you got to go to now having other kinds of methods of transportation to assist us. And the best part is that these things are still expanding, we're still growing. Imagine how we'll be traveling in the near future. And we have planes to imagine if we'll have, who knows, spaceships or whatever coming up in the near future. But time will only tell. So ultimately, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. I hope this kind of gave you a couple new things to think about. And if you ever have any comments, questions, or concerns, throw them in the comment section or ask me. I'm happy to help. All right. Thank you very much. Have a great day.